Hey guys, welcome back to another unboxing video. I just want to take a minute before I get into the whole build to let you all know, take your time on this one. There's a lot of small parts and you really don't want to rush it in case you might bump something. So I just want to give you all a warning in advance, like make sure you get all the little pieces out, set them out together, and it makes the whole process go a lot more smooth, especially when you get to the awesome water effect. That's something you're going to watch for. So I just want to give you all a heads up, and I hope you enjoy this new build. So off the bat, we have this awesome new upgrade of Velcro straps. And when you first open up the box, pay attention to the piece in the middle and I'll show you why. It's part of the water effect piece and it pokes through the bottom layer, so make sure you lift straight up to avoid snapping it. Just like all the other pieces, the bottom has a black and white silhouette of the character along with the edition number. I couldn't hold it very long because it is pretty heavy, but you can see the beautiful craftsmanship on the clear resin with accents of the white foam in the water, and of course, the classic silver and blue of the Zora. Around back is where the power source will plug in, as well as an on-off switch. And in the main part of the resin are a couple notches in which Mipha and the water effect will key into. I'm honestly really impressed with the quality of the clear resin on this and just the subtle transition of blue hues. Now on to the fun part of building our champion. There's a solid steel rod that runs up her leg, setting the tone for a really solid base, and then a notch in the backside where the fins on her waist will fit into. She keys into one of the spots behind the waves, and there's just enough clearance to avoid any potential paint rub. Next up are the fins that fit around her waist, kind of like a skirt. This is a subtle detail, but I really appreciate the level of gradient shading that they got in the green and yellow on the underfin. There's a notch that I pointed out earlier that's going to fit into her backside, and that's how it keys into place. But the vibrant colors on her are top notch. Next up, we have one of her first silver jewelry accent pieces. I know some of you might be a little bit nervous about the fragility of these, but all of them have a good bit of flexibility to it, so I wouldn't really worry too much. Just like her Bosa, the clear resin on this is absolutely beautiful and looks just like a real jewel. You kind of have to use a tiny bit of sticky tack on this. I'm an overcautious person, so I like to make sure pieces like that aren't going to fall out if I accidentally bump them. And just like the other piece of the belt, it slides right on her waist. This is where the quality of the paint job really starts to stand out. Everything from the folds in her tunic to the bends in her joints have just enough subtle shading to add a little bit of depth and detail. On the back of her forearms, there's a couple holes where the parts of her fin will key into, and then one on her shoulder for the flowing part of her tunic. She pops into place easily enough, although you kind of have to adjust the belts a little bit just to make sure they're not caught on her torso. And there you have it, a complete Greek sculpture. I think we should just leave it as it is. Just like her belt, we have another small silver accessory that fits around her neck, and of course a little tiny clear resin jewel. Perfect. This may not seem like a big thing, but what I appreciate about this hand is the fact that they use a strong magnet to help key it into place. That's going to be really important considering how big the trident is going to be. Next up is the part of the tunic that floats behind her and attaches to that small notch in her shoulder. I want to point out that the notch on mine has the paint scratched off, and that was something I did personally. I was struggling a little bit trying to get it to slide into place, so removing just a very thin layer of that paint made it a lot easier to pop on. Like I said earlier, I am a cautious person, so I was a little worried about snapping it when I put it in. I don't think everyone's is going to have that problem. It's just something I personally wanted to do. So for the next bit, I actually recommend taking off her whole upper torso right now. And this is why. We're going to be installing the dynamic water effect piece that wraps around the entire statue. I found it was a lot easier to build the rest of the statue this way than trying to put everything together and then having this massive piece carefully wrap around all of it. There was just way too much risk of accidentally bumping something and knocking over the whole piece. Have the backside of the statue facing you and put the first notch into the main part of the wave, and then the other notch that it will attach to the back of her ankle. Now that we have that out of the way, it's time to install all of the smaller water effect pieces that I showed earlier. There's 5 in total, and each notch has a different shape, which makes it pretty easy to figure out where they fit. With her torso back in place, it's time to build her awesome light scale trident. The main part of the trident has some nice weight to it, and you can see the subtle detailing of the Zora design around the end. And now to the best part. I am so impressed with the color and the sharpness, emphasis on sharpness, of the trident itself. I did cheat a little bit and put one of the jewels on there, but I'll show more details later. So I did put the teal handle on the trident before the rest of the pieces, and I gently slid it up and through the back arm until I had it lined up with the front hand where the magnet was. And then it just gently rests in place. After that, it's a matter of just slipping on the little bit that goes on the end, and then getting the really pokey end and sliding it up into the main handle of the trident. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, but it's actually pretty secure. Still recommend sticky tack just to be safe. And now the little jewel bits that fit onto the trident. Gently pinch this area to prevent any potential snapping, and carefully wiggle it back and forth until it fits into the notch. I really love the dynamic look of this whole pose. And now that we're in the home stretch, time for the next best part. They did an excellent job capturing the detail in her eyes, and there's just enough gloss to give it a little bit of life. Like the rest of her body, there's subtle shading throughout to create a little bit of dimension, especially around the jawline so her face doesn't look flat. On top of her head is a notch and a strong magnet where her hair, if you want to call it that, will click into place. Something else I really appreciate about this is even though it's sculpted onto the main part, it's not flat at all, and it actually looks like an attachment accessory. And now the last little bit of the whole piece, the silver crown that adorns her head. There's a couple small notches that fit into each side, and it's also got some nice flexibility to it. So all you have to do is slide one side in, and then the other one easily fits into its place. These fins are the last little things that we have to add to the whole piece. Each one has a distinct notch shape, so you can figure out pretty easily where they fit. But definitely be careful because you are close to the water effect when you attach them. Again, sticky tack is your friend. Now that the stress of the build is out of the way, time to have some fun. Oh my god, I just love the lights on this so freaking much. It takes it up another level. And there's so many different combinations you can try as far as colors and light patterns and just anything you could really think of, honestly. After a while, I finally found an effect that I liked, and it kind of looked like rolling waves. So, without further ado, and there you have it, guys. I honestly just can't get over how well done this statue is. Like, Mipha is beautiful. The colors are vibrant. The dynamic balance of the statue is on point. There's just so much to look at and enjoy with this piece. Once again, I hope this took some stress out of the build and you were able to enjoy the entire process from start to finish. I don't know about you guys, but I am pumped to get the rest of the champions in our line, including Link and Zelda. It's going to be a great year for Zelda. So thanks again, guys, and have a good one.